Hi there. Now, I was just thinking, I was saying, should I even do this video? Because I don't even know what I'm going to say in this video. But one mind just said, you know what? Do it anyway. Just do it. I feel like my entire childhood went down the toilet, or at least a good chunk of it, at least a good half. Because my childhood was Disney and Nickelodeon. Disney had 50%, Nickelodeon had 50%, and I just feel like 50% just got flushed down the toilet. I don't know. I watched the Dan Schneider documentary, and the hardest part for me to watch was the last two episodes where Drake was basically talking about his abuse. He didn't even have the courage to actually say what happened to him. And I think that's how you know how bad it really was. And I was saying, this really happened behind the scenes? Are you kidding me? I cried. I honestly cried. Because why? Why did that have to happen? And why were there so many pedophiles on set? And why were they telling parents that they can't come on certain areas on set? Or why couldn't parents come on set very often? I am just honestly lost for words, and I am trying to find words to say in this video. You guys out there, is your childhood ruined like mine has been ruined? Just let me know, because mine is just like completely down the toilet. Drake and Josh is my #1 favorite TV show of all time. No kid, no, it's my favorite. Okay, it's my all-time favorite. It's Drake and Josh, iCarly, Victorious for me. And those are all Dan Schneider shows. Dan Schneider shows basically made Nickelodeon in my head, because I'm like, oh my god, he's such a great creator. And I remember watching like Victorious and iCarly, and in the ending credits, I start seeing like Dan Schneider's name, and I said, okay. And then I watch a different show and I see his name again, and I was like, okay, so he's the creator of all these wonderful shows. And I'm like, whoa, it's a cool creator. And I always kind of talk about him. I was like, oh, Nickelodeon has Dan Schneider. He's such a good creator, and he creates all these wonderful shows. And sometimes when I watch a new Nickelodeon show, I'm always looking for his name in the credits, because I know that he's such a good creator. I remember watching an episode of Victorious a couple of years ago, and it was the episode where they were trying to find out who cut Trina's cord. And I don't know if the guy told Trina to shut up in the scene or what happened, but basically they were just like complaining and making all this noise, and the guy just takes up the bottle of hand cream or lotion or whatever it was, and he just sprays it into Trina's face. And I looked at it and I was like, that does not look right. Why is that in Victorious? That looks so sexual. Why is it in Victorious? And then after I start to realize certain things, I start, looking at other episodes and really paying attention. And I'm seeing things like, why is this in a teen show? Some of the jokes, some of the things they had to do. And I keep seeing a theme with feet, especially like Victorious and iCarly. There's always some episode where it's like revolving around their feet or something with the feet. And we all know that whole feet thing is crazy. And I just start watching a lot of the shows, and I keep seeing so many really adult jokes and things that they had to do. And alright, let's talk about all that. I don't watch all that. Not that I don't like it, but I only found out about all that probably like a couple of years ago, like after I was really into Victorious and all those other shows, I just never really cared to really look at all that and what it really was about. But I knew of it, okay? And to me, some of the worst portions of these adult jokes and things that they had to do came out of all that, because I saw some of those scenes and like, especially, I don't remember his name right now because like I'm just talking to you guys. I'm just having a talk. And he had to wear these tight suits and like dress up in like just to be like a superhero, I think it was. And a particular one was the nose one, where he's like this nose superhero or something like that, and they had like the nose on his shoulders and the prosthetic nose also, and there was like a nose on his costume like in front of him, and like if you look at it, the nose looked like penises and balls. That is crazy shit. And then that same person, that same boy, they were doing this Truth and Dare program, and he got smothered in peanut butter. The dogs had to lick it off of him. That just made me feel really uncomfortable. Okay, because this is my first time seeing these scenes. Like I said, I've never ever watched all that. I've just heard the show's name here and there throughout my time on watching Nickelodeon. I just never watched it myself. And thank God I didn't, because I think even though I was young, I probably would have still kind of picked up on some of those jokes. So not really picked up, but it would just kind of seem weird to me, because like I said, all that seemed like it had a good chunk, or the worst of the worst when it came on to like the adult jokes and sexual stuff. Because even they were talking about this thing on one of the shows where it's like the pickle boy, and the pickles also look like, and I was like, why is this happening right now? I felt so uncomfortable watching that. And just to know that nobody questioned it, and of course if they did question it, they would have gotten fired. But like, I always say that if a group of people, not just a group of people, so you're working somewhere and you guys don't like the way probably the boss treats you or how he behaves, if everybody comes together and really come after this guy, is he just gonna fire everyone? And if, I'm pretty sure the news of him treating you guys a certain way would have gotten out some way somehow, so probably people would just get up and start working for them just like that. So I always say, coming together as a team, it's so much easier than just one or two persons saying, oh, I don't like this. But all I know is that I am still feeling bad about Drake going through what he went through. I'm shocked, I'm sad, I'm disgusted. I feel disturbed even. Today just feels like a dark day. That's what today feels like. Because I'm just finished watching the documentary, I'm looking at all these things on TikTok, and it just feels like a dark day. It feels like a really sad day for me. Like someone died or something. And another thing about the whole Drake situation is, I believe that if he had stayed with his father, and I'm not blaming him in any way, I believe that if he was still with his father the whole time, none of this would have happened. Because that man would have never allowed that to happen to his son at all. It just seemed like he was always better off with his dad, because his dad obviously protected him more. A lot more. I mean, imagine he had to stay at this guy's house just because his mom doesn't want to drive him to auditions, or she doesn't like to drive. Like, you're leaving your child with this man that you hardly know. I don't care if he comes off as goofy. I don't care if he comes off as nice. I don't care what he comes off like. You don't know this man. And you're allowing this man to drive your child to all these places and staying at his house. You don't just get up and allow your kids to just stay at anyone's house. That's crazy. Even me growing up, my mom does not allow me to just stay at anyone's house unless it's like my dad's house or something. I don't go to people's house to stay the night. If I even go to someone's house, it's for like the day and I'm back at my house by nighttime. Are you crazy? You have to be cautious with who you leave with your kids. I'm not saying you're going to be perfect all the time, but you have to at least put some amount of effort into it. Because I think that all these things that happened with Drake could have honestly been avoided. Because, dude, why? I mean, I'm pretty sure she didn't even know this man for a long time at this point. And you just allow your kid to go off with this man to God knows where, being at his house and all that. He did not need to sleep in this man's house. You go with your child to where they need to be. You book a hotel, you book somewhere, you find somewhere, you stay with them. Don't let them leave your sight. I can so understand why that mom was not in the documentary. She probably felt embarrassed to be in the documentary, and I wouldn't blame her. Because she probably blames herself for what happened. And I kept saying that if he had still had his father as his manager, this wouldn't have happened, because his father didn't feel right about a lot of things from in the beginning. And probably in his mind, he's saying, okay, well, if he doesn't want me to be his manager anymore, I'll respect my son's decision, and that's fine. And I'm thinking, and probably he's thinking, okay, well, he's with his mom, so he should be fine, and she should be protecting him just as how I would protect him. So I'm thinking, okay, probably he's thinking something like that. But do you guys see what I'm talking about here and how this literally could have been avoided? Yeah, it could have more than been avoided. I know I'm mostly talking about the whole Drake situation because, like, that's what shocked me the most, and that's what made me want to do this video. And just, I want to say, in conclusion, a lot of people are saying that Dan Schneider should be in jail. I think so. I think they should dig a lot deeper, because I'm pretty sure there's got to be, the way how he behaved around people and the way how inappropriate he was, and the kind of people that he hired that were also pedophiles, they need to dig deeper into his portfolio. They need to dig deeper. I'm pretty sure there's something there that would give enough for him to go to jail for a good amount of years. I think they need to dig deeper into that. I'm pretty sure he's probably gone really far with some of these kids, and they probably signed was the NDA or whatever to not talk about it or whatever. I don't know, but they need to dig deeper, because I'm pretty sure he might have done things with these kids that we still don't even know about. Because the only thing I keep hearing is, oh, he puts these things in the shows. Oh, he was a little bit inappropriate with, not a little, he was a lot inappropriate with these kids. But I'm pretty sure if they look deeper, they would find that he went too far with a good chunk of them. And if they find that, well, just know that he's going away for a good amount of time. Because throughout this whole thing, you only hear about, like, what, 2 pedophiles going to jail. What about Dan Schneider? What about him, huh? And I honestly rate Jeanette McCurdy. See, I'm just kind of going all over the place here, but I honestly kind of rate Jeanette McCurdy, because this girl does not, she talks out about her stuff. She didn't sign any forms like how some of these kids would have signed forms. And I saw someone on TikTok and they're saying, okay, well, they're young, they probably didn't know any better. And I understand that, yeah, I do. But Jeanette McCurdy probably seemed a little bit more mature, and she knew exactly what was going on. She's like, oh, I'm not going to sign that. I'm going to tell you my experience. And just all out the things that he allowed them to do, because I keep watching these things now and I keep looking at what was really going on. And I just keep scratching my head, like, how did this even go on for so long? How? You know? And to me, this just feels like Nickelodeon as a whole, of course, because, like, that man was, it's kind of like the boss of Nickelodeon at one point. He's creating all these popular shows. But anyways, guys, I am gonna stop this video now. But let me know in the comments what you think about this whole scandal and what's going on and all this revelation that's happening. I just want to know your feelings. Do you feel like your childhood is in the toilet like I'm feeling right now? Just let me know. Okay.